Action van, U-joint, and Weldtech. So lifted two-wheel drive, you get 4x4 looks for the fraction of the cost. How much would you pay to have your Dodge Ram van look like this? Let me know in the comment section. Welcome back to the comment section with your host, John Drives Anything. Let me know in the comment section if you get the reference. I think 75% of you will. The comment section is why I've been doing this for as long as I've been doing this. I got this comment yesterday, and that brings the interest to the March lifted van meet up to 30. I've been sitting on a topic. I did a live stream last year, and someone in Canada, he told me that his wife hates my channel because I got him into lifted vans, and he's into his lifted van build now. So let's save that for another day. I don't hang out on message boards or Facebook groups because I see all the hate I get from Weldtech fanboys. You guys share it with me. I'll show you guys something funny right now. Weldtech is a huge fan of this channel, so calm down, Weldtech fanboys. We'll talk about Weldtech later. Yo, Patrick, get in touch with me. I got some plans, man. Lifted two-wheel drive Dodge Ram van. No details at all on how this was done. How much would you pay to have your Dodge Ram van look like this? Let me know in the comment section. This is a 4x4 Quigley conversion Dodge Ram van. About 13 years ago, I saw Motor Week's reviews on Quigley 4x4 conversions for Ford and GM vans. So I looked up what that would cost, and I couldn't afford it. So then I started researching two-wheel drive lift kits for 40 Econoline vans, and I found out about Action Van suspension, 5-inch lift kit, and you could fit 33-inch tires. This van right here is a two-wheel drive lift kit on 33s. Would you like your Dodge Ram van to look something like this?
Incredible as it may seem, the Expedition is not Ford's biggest 4x4. Check off the right option box at your local Ford dealer and you can have one of these, the Quigley Super Track van. Just think of it as the Expedition's bigger brother. But sometimes even the biggest sport utes, like this Chevrolet Suburban, aren't big enough. Now, those off-roaders with special needs can then turn to a small Pennsylvania-based firm called the Quigley Motor Company. They build the biggest four-wheel drive people movers that we've ever driven. Think of it as a sport utility plus.
Dodge Ram vans look really good, and they're priced a lot more affordable than GM and Ford vans. $8,000. 58,000 miles. The reason why I wasn't considering a Dodge van is because the biggest engine for these is the 5.9 V8. The V10 8.0 was never available for the Dodge Ram vans. I like Fords and GM vans more because the Ford has the V10 option and the GM has the 6.0 V8, and it also had the option of the 8.1 big block V8, only made for 1 year. And then I didn't like the fact that you can't get a 5-inch lift kit for these Dodge vans. So let's talk about that right now. Top of the food chain for 4x4 lifts for 40 Econoline E-Series vans is U-joint Offroad. $30,000 for the 4x4 conversion. Here's two of my friends with the U-joint. RJ Renegade, U-joint 4x4, out of U-joint, Colorado. So lifted two-wheel drive, you get 4x4 looks for the fraction of the cost. How much of a fraction? If you can install it yourself, you could get your foot in the door for around $2,000. Wasatch Overland, they install action van lift kits now, so if you're closer to Salt Lake City, Utah than you are to San Clemente, they go $39.40 installed action van. Charges a little less, I believe, because they source the lift kit, but just under 4,000 installed. And Weltec Designs, this is the top of the pricing for a two-wheel drive lift kit. So let's go ahead and retain the sway bar for safety. That's 500 extra, $28.90 for install. So you're looking at about 7,000 installed if you go with the Weltec. So 7,000 installed for a two-wheel drive lift kit, or 2,000 if you could do it yourself. That's a long ways away from 30 grand for the 4x4 look. I was open to getting a GM van if it had the 454 motor, the 6.0 V8, or the 8.1 big block. This is Boulder Offroad. They lift GM vans, and their lift kit's around 2 grand, just like Action Van. 5-inch lift kit for GM vans, $2,100. I would have went with this if I bought a GM van. Dodge Ram van fans. Are you willing to pay $7,000 for a two-wheel drive lift kit installed? Let me know in the comment section if you're willing to do that. If this gains any interest, here's the thing. I will buy a Dodge Ram van. So any company that's up to the task of lifting a Dodge Ram van, I will buy one and let you guys use my van as a donor. Let's get Dodge Ram vans lifted. Yo, Weltec, you want to do it? You guys lift a bunch of vans. I know Larry from Action Van Suspension, he just likes Econolines, so that's all he makes is 40 Econoline lift kits. But Weltec, you guys make a bunch of lift kits. How about Journeys Offroad? Journeys Offroad, are you up to the task of creating a 5-inch lift kit for Dodge Ram vans? Let's take a look at Journeys Offroad right now. Here you go, Journeys Offroad. They lift minivans. They lift a bunch of things, actually. So Weltec Designs, Journeys Offroad, I'm willing to buy a Dodge Ram van for you guys to develop a lift kit for. How does that sound? Hey, Dodge Ram van fans, it's up to you in the comment section to show that there's interest for this. So that's what the comment section is for. But yeah, look at their catalog of all the vans they lift, and their biggest lift is the Astro van. So when you look at their Astro van lifts, Journeys Offroad, look at all the options they have. All-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. So let's go ahead with rear-wheel drive, since that's going to be the most affordable Astro van. The all-wheel drives go for a lot of coin now. Let's see how big they lift these Astros. We got 3 inches right there, 3, we got 3 to 4, and how's that? Up to 5-inch lift kit, $610. So you got to understand, so you look at 40 Econoline vans, $2,000 to start for a 5-inch lift kit, all the way up to 7 installed. So you got to look at it like, what's the market for a lift? So you got to understand that it's going to take development, they got to get the geometry right, and that's the credit I'll give to Action Van Suspension and Weltec. They lift the vans 5 inches properly with the right geometry. So you know, that's the key. You could always lift something with lift springs and spacers, but it's not going to ride the same. So there's a reason you pay a lot for a two-wheel drive lift kit. It's done properly on these vans. I'll save the wife hating me story for a separate topic. The lifted van meet, this is pretty funny. I wasn't offended at all. I'm not going to name any names, just in case you thought I was offended. And like I said, I wasn't offended at all, but one of the significant others started talking to me, and she said, I can't stand your channel. All I do is hear your channel in the background. And I was going to buy a van and get a Weltec lift kit just because I resent you so much. And that actually made me laugh, because you know what? Some of my best friends have Weltec lift kits. Shout out to my buddy Mark. See you, Mark.
See you later, man.
Javi Wasabi's rig, Raptor grill, and a Weltec lift kit, Weltec bumper. This is Mark's van. Weltec lift on Mark's van. I've never slandered a company here on my channel, and I've always said it. If any of you have ever told me I want a Weltec lift kit, I've never tried to talk any of you guys out of it. I just have my preference, I have my recommendations, but at the end of the day, I want to see all lifted vans at my meets. I want to see 4x4 conversions. I want to see lifted minivans. I want to see Dodge Ram vans with a proper 5-inch lift kit, so Dodge Ram vans could look like this, just like the GMs and the Fords. So it's all love, man. So Patrick, get in touch with me. It's funny because like I said, I know Weltec fanboys. There's a difference between fans and fanboys. When I got my first van lifted almost 13 years ago, Action Van Suspension and a company called J-Flame were the only companies around. My buddy Larry from Action Van Suspension, he actually told me he has a J-Flame lift kit somewhere in his shop. Would you guys like to see what a J-Flame lift kit looks like? So when I got this van, so Weltec came out around 2017, I believe, lifting these vans. So when I was doing research to lift this van, a bunch of people that don't have a Weltec lift kit, fanboys, were telling me Weltec, hands down, by far, they're the best. If I were to buy a lift kit, I would go with Weltec. So in my head, I'm saying, yeah, they're getting a lot of hype, but a bunch of guys with no lift kits are telling me to get a Weltec. So yeah, it was never anything personal. Weltec, if you want to make a Dodge Ram van lift kit, I'll buy a Dodge Ram van and leave it at your guy's shop. Now let's go ahead and unveil it. Same with Journeys Offroad, any company. Hey, Boulder Offroad, you want to do it? Dodge Ram van, I think they look good. I just like this look right here. I like the old school body on frame American style vans. So there's a little comment section talk for the day, lift kit talk. Hey man, how boring would the world be if there was if everyone had the same lift kit? Like you saw the Sportsmobile customers only meet, a lifted van meet. There was 5 Weltec vans, 7 Action vans, a couple 4x4s, couple stock. It was mixed, man. And I want to see it all. And that's what it's always been about on my channel, just celebrating lifted vans. Like I said, I've never put a company down, never told any lies about a company. I just always want to tell the truth here on my channel. And I'm open to talking to anyone who wants to make this hobby grow.
So we're here in the town of Bodie and we're getting started with our Sportsmobile adventure. We're spending a little bit of time touring this beautiful old ghost town. This thing is particularly well preserved.
You know, I have something I could sleep in. Like if I go on a long road trip, it's perfect. That's why I have it lifted for desert runs. It's kind of like a poor man's Sportsmobile van.
Sportsmobile appeals to me because it's kind of the ultimate road trip vehicle.
We went over the mountain range and down the eastern side and kind of traveled through this really beautiful canyon system that still had quite a bit of tree cover on it. Most of the trees in that area had been cut down through the ages to maintain the mine, but on the eastern side, a lot of the trees had either grown back or were still present.
It's a Weltec lift kit on this one. Hi Hank!
Hey.
This meat has a security dog. A Doberman.
That's right.
Don't rip my hand off. Thank you. Here's the convoy. This one's Action Van Suspension right here. There's a Weltec behind it. Yeah, buddy. It's a Weltec right there. That's a 4x4 GM right there. Yeah, buddy. Bigfoot 4x4. Yeah, buddy. Action van suspension. Right there, action van. DIY 4x4, two-wheel drive right now. America. Yeah. And there's the man, Mr. Action Van Suspension Larry. The OG. Yeah, buddy. Subscribe to our YouTube. Follow him on Instagram.
I promise I'll make good content.
You got good content here.
Yeah, I do.
How cool is this? And this is just half of us.
So cool.
Half of us had to leave.
Cool Kids Club.
That was gnarly. Slick Rick always behind me. Slick Rick's always driving behind me. I love it. See all those videos and pictures on Instagram with the Jeep guys? We're at the same spot. We won the day in vans. All of us are two-wheel drive. End of the line. Our vans are too porky to fit in here. I think only dirt bikes. Maybe my Geo could fit in here. But I think the Jeeps are too wide for this too.